In the season finale of the Kenobi show, Obi-Wan and Vader have a lightsaber rematch. While the fight was visually stunning, there were several massive plot holes in this fight that really make no sense at all. Let's look past the visuals and break down this fight. The first major problem is how Kenobi went from being completely tossed around by Vader and no match for him in episode 3, to now being his equal again and eventually beating him. The events of the show take place over just a few days, and it's very unbelievable that Kenobi could remaster the Force and lightsaber duels in such a short time, when we see him barely able to do a simple Force pull a few episodes before. Not only has he regained his former glory, but is shown at new mastery levels we have never seen before when he is able to hurl dozens of boulder-sized rocks at Vader with ease. This part of the fight seems pretty evident that the writers were heavily influenced by the video game The Force Unleashed. While it was visually exciting, we've never seen Kenobi that powerful on screen before. This leads to the next point. Kenobi, after tossing dozens of boulder-sized rocks at Vader, all of them smashing into pieces once they hit him, apparently leave not a single mark on Vader's suit. This was clearly all done with CGI, and sadly it doesn't feel real when he stands up after and there is no visible damage to Vader's suit at all. Without any visual damage, which if that actually happened there would be, it makes the whole scene feel hollow and unimportant. Let's also break down Vader's actions in this fight. At the start, Vader gets the upper hand and ends up burying Kenobi beneath a pile of rocks. Vader then turns around and proceeds to head back to a ship to leave the planet. This is 100% not how Vader would act at all. Vader hates Kenobi for what he did to him. We even see this in episode 3 when Vader tortures Kenobi in the flames. Vader wants Kenobi to suffer and die by his hands. Vader would make sure that Kenobi was dead under those rocks. He wouldn't walk away not knowing if he was truly dead. It simply is not how Vader would act. Finally, at the end of the battle, Kenobi defeats Vader and smashes his helmet open, revealing Anakin inside. Kenobi ultimately decides to walk away and leave Vader on the planet. Again, this makes no sense, as in a further backhand to the original trilogy. Kenobi defeated Vader and had the chance to end him for good, which he said he would do earlier in the episode.
I have to face him, Master. Whether he dies or I do, this ends today.
This invalidates the reason for Luke Skywalker's arc in the original trilogy. Kenobi and Yoda needed Luke as he was the only one that could stop Vader. They wanted Luke to kill him, but ultimately Luke redeemed Vader. None of that would have been needed if Kenobi had just finished Vader at the end of the season. Why is Luke needed if Kenobi is still shown as Vader's superior and had the chance to finish him for good and didn't? Ultimately, while the fight was visually appealing, I felt dissatisfied and disappointed with how this turned out. Making Vader and Kenobi fight again makes no sense to the original trilogy and was thrown into this show just to get more subscribers for Disney+.